Rolling.
I'm so high, I can hear heaven. I'm so high, my team's in 7th.
Never gets old.
Dick, my fantasy football team is in 7th place at 4-4 after a catastrophic L 2 weeks ago where I lost by 0.5 after putting in Romeo Dobbs over Juju Smith-Schuster. I had Dobbs in my lineup, took him out, put in Juju, and then put Dobbs back in because the numbers said so. You know, the logic said so. They were going up against the Commanders. All Dobbs needed was 0.5, actually 0.6, and I would have won. 0.5 would have gotten me a tie.
All I can say is that doesn't sound like a fantasy. It sounds like a nightmare and some bad juju.
It's terrible. So
sounds pretty terrible.
Oh my God. If this or the implications that fantasy football have on your real life interest you, you may follow Dick or I on Twitter at CTS Terry or at I'm Dick Francisco. You can find Dick on Instagram at the Dick Francisco, and you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever podcasts are available, including YouTube, by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified when we drop our weekly episodes. So, Dick, you're right. I was living a nightmare for the last week. I got a win this week, so I managed to get back up to 4-4.
Congrats.
But Tom Brady is my quarterback, and whatever nightmare he is living, every fantasy owner is living with him. And I will get more into it in a minute, but right now my team is suffering with Tom Brady, and so therefore I'm making a move.
Yeah, well,
I'm shopping Alvin Kamara.
Do you think Tom Brady took this into account? Fuck the kids. That divorce is impacting fantasy teams like yours.
Right. F them kids.
I mean, F them kids. Is that not been the theme, Tom? F them kids and the wife.
Right.
I'm fairly certain we've said this on this show before.
Yeah.
But like, we weren't looking for him to F you in your fantasy league. Dang.
No, that's not why I drafted him in his swan song.
Come on, Tom.
No, absolutely. This is not the swan song I signed up for.
Can I sidebar, though? Like, are we actually kind of okay with this? Because, like, we felt like Tom might have needed to drop her a long time ago.
No, why does he need to drop her?
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what we said the last time we talked about this, whether we were team Gisele or not. Not going to lie, but whatever episode that was, somebody
Let's
should
check our notes. We
check
are
those
not
notes,
on the same
re-listen
page.
to that episode. I can't remember, but I feel like I took Tom Brady's side as to let the man like retire and then unretire and then retire. I can't remember.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Tom. Either way, he's killing me, and therefore, at 4-4, being the lowest scoring team in the league, I probably shouldn't be here, and I definitely shouldn't have been 5-3. But the fact that it could have been is really disturbing, and that one's on me. But a couple of these other L's are on Tom, and I need to make a move.
Well, I think for all the people on Twitter that over the last like month or two, because Tom wasn't looking real good, who started the rumors on Twitter that he had cancer, still could. I don't know. I've got no insider information. But it might have just been this like impending divorce thing. And either way, you ain't got a backup, T. What do you do when you don't have a backup?
Yeah, no, I am absolutely fucked. I will also mention that I made the mistakes of dropping Ramondre Stevenson after week 1 or 2 because he put up just average numbers, and I figured Damian Harris was going to get his usual workload for the year, or at least it'd be a split backfield, something like that. No, Stevenson's just completely taken over. He's putting up double digits every week, so I'm absolutely regretting that decision. And I dropped Dallas's defense after Dak went down because I figured it was going to be a fucking train wreck, and I think week 1 they only put up like 5 or 6 points anyway, so I was like, all right, it's going to be bad. Dallas is Dallas, and they're just killing it on defense. So Yeah, I am in complete crisis mode, even though I am at 500 right now. I will admit it on the air. And therefore,
So,
therefore, I need to make a move more than just a waiver move. We're talking trades.
yeah.
And in
Yeah.
this league, trades don't happen often. We're talking one every like 2 or 3 years.
You got to make some money moves, T. You got to make some money moves.
Splash
So,
moves.
here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Even though we're talking about a fantasy, that again doesn't sound like my kind of fantasy, but nonetheless a fantasy. How does this impact your real life? Because the way you just talked, like, this is for real. Like, you're all up in it to win it.
I hate it because it gets me invested in these sports that I don't really care for anymore, but I care about my squad.
Yeah. What episode of the show? God, we're so bad at this. You were like over sports in general, and
Right.
now
I'm all
you're
in.
very, very
I'm
invested.
tuned into Monday Night Football watching Ramondre Stevenson get a garbage fucking catch or whatever that puts me down by 0.5.
Right. Despite the fact that all sports are rigged, go back to that episode, everybody. Nonetheless,
Complete bullshit.
you're now completely in and sucked in. So how is this crisis in your fantasy league impacting your real life?
Oh God, I'm miserable.
Do you
to be
even
around
know
in
the
these
difference
situations.
anymore?
Yeah, no, it's complete. It's a nightmare at all times. It's 24/7. When I'm asleep, I'm thinking about like, did my waiver wire process? Did my waiver wire
geez.
process? God, yeah. I wake up, it didn't process. I'm stuck with some bum ass fucking tight end. Just
Wow. Okay, so you sound like a joy and pleasure to be around right now.
oh, it's terrible. But
Yeah.
I'm making moves. I'm gonna make moves to overcome this. I am going for this bad man named Josh Allen. I'm going for the top gun. He's the number one player. He's the number one fantasy player, and I'm going
So
for him.
I keep coming back to this. Do you think, and I'm just curious about this, someone like Tom Brady, when he's making this decision, or regardless of who filed for divorce, right? But when these decisions are being made, how about that?
Gisele.
That are yeah, well, we know she did. But let's just be clear. Tom made some decisions that he 100% knew would result in those papers
We'll
being
get to
filed.
this.
He was not surprised
get to
by
it.
the papers being filed. But when that happens and you're going down that path in your personal life as, I mean, obviously the greatest quarterback ever. People could debate that. I don't even care. I don't even really care because I'm not here to argue that. Just point being, if you're Tom Brady and you're going down this path that you know is going to lead to a slight crisis in your own life and divorce, that's going to be very public and very personal all at the same time. Is there a part of you that's thinking about Sweet Tea? I mean, he doesn't know you.
No.
He can't put a face to you.
No,
but
no,
like
no.
he knows that
they don't
you
give a fuck.
exist.
They don't give a fuck.
Okay, so
right?
he's not thinking
They don't
about
give a
it.
fuck, right? They don't give a fuck
Got
about
it.
us.
Okay.
No, we've discussed
I
this.
wasn't sure. I was throwing it out there that I wondered if I was Tom Brady, if
But
I
in
was the GOAT.
Fantasyland,
Yeah.
his ass
Yeah.
better because, I'm not only the fucking owner of this team, I'm the commissioner of the goddamn league. And you know what,
That's
Tom?
right.
You know what, Tom? Shit happens to people. If you don't want to play football anymore, that's fine. You should have stayed fucking retired, asshole. Now you're fucking bringing your own fucking personal problems into the locker room and making it everybody else's problem.
So he should have just stayed with her through the season?
No.
And
No.
gotten a divorce in the off season?
He should have just stayed retired and fucking been done with it. And then
Oh,
then she wouldn't have
that's
divorced him.
the stance you're taking.
Yeah.
And then
I
you would have
could've-
never been able to draft him and you would have gone
Yes.
a different route.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Now I'm stuck in this
Okay.
situation. I am fucking I got offered Josh Allen and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for David Montgomery, Alvin Kamara, and Tyler Boyd, and this is a non-PPR league. So I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm going to keep Tampa Tom too. And what makes this better is the guy that's trading with me doesn't have a backup quarterback. So he's not going to have a quarterback after this.
So
And so
again, if I'm okay, nope, keep going.
I'm
That's
taking
cool.
it to the next level. I'm trying to play chess, and I don't know if I should just be playing checkers, but I
Right.
am going for the top quarterback available on the waivers. I'm going to try and snipe the best quarterback available.
How do you know he's not going to get divorced?
That
Have you
it
checked
doesn't
his
matter.
marital status?
Well, that's fine. No, that's fine because I'll have Josh Allen. I'll have Josh Allen,
Have you
Tom
checked
Brady.
his marital status? This is now begging a question.
I
I
don't.
want to know the marital
I'm
status and the
not.
health of the marriages of all of these men.
This is true. Yes, I should be
Right?
checking up.
I
But
mean, suddenly you
Josh
need to
Allen's
start
is good right.
factoring
Josh
that
Allen
in.
is good right now. Whatever his status is, he's putting up numbers. So
Well, he's good until his lady ain't good or his husband ain't good. I'm not sure which, but
well, in that case, I'll have diversified my portfolio.
I just think that you guys all need to take this into account when you're building your teams from now on is check on the health of that marriage.
Well, that's why you diversify the portfolio. If one or two of them goes down to injury or divorce or whatever, you can be prepared. And now I'm looking at trying to snipe the top quarterback off of waivers, not because I need him, but because I want to prevent the other guy from getting him. See what I'm saying? Leave him
Yeah.
quarterbackless this season.
Okay, so
this
I
week.
have another question. I know we said that Tom Brady doesn't think about it. None of these guys are thinking about, sweet tea when they're
No,
making these life decisions.
none of them.
So I
have
guess my
retweeted
question
me.
is, should they? Like right now, about 12 inches away from my face, I have the Phoenix Suns Minnesota Timberwolves game on right now for the archives. It is November 1st. Welcome to the month of November.
Ew.
And we made it. And yeah, I'm looking at all these guys and I'm like, none of them are thinking about me and
Nah.
my fantasy basketball. Like, I don't have one, but like, let's say I did have one. They're
The
not
only
thinking
way
about
that they're going to
right
think
now.
about you
Yeah.
is if you go to a game and are courtside and somehow get their attention. Whip your tits out.
Okay.
Be a
Okay.
streaker.
Okay. But then they're still
Or
just
have a
worried
funny
about my
sign.
tits and not my fantasy league.
No. Your fantasy league's never going to come into play here.
Never gonna. Yeah. Okay. And that's fair because I don't think they should be thinking about that because I feel like that would kind of just be distracting. But it becomes kind of a fascinating slippery slope if I do say so myself because I can clearly see how your fantasy league crisis impacts your life even though you have no control over these guys. And I think the power of sports then in relationships. So we're talking about a divorce that's causing a problem in your fantasy league. If you were married, do you think this would cause your divorce? Like a divorce that causes a divorce? I don't know. I might be digging a hole here, T, but
Fantasy dominoes.
that felt like fantasy dominoes, right?
It's terrible. Like I said, I'm miserable to be around. I think you've said it before, something about the Super Bowl. People get pissed.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing, right? That
There's a rise
Super
in
Bowl
domestic.
Sunday.
Yeah.
That's when they have the highest rates or at least a rise in domestic violence. But here was this, and sports across, the world, it doesn't have to just be American football. It was, I think a year ago or so, there was a story out of the UK and it was about English and Scottish soccer teams. And they did research on this and did a story about how sports were dividing millions of families with over in the UK with soccer being their sport, of choice, that 1 in 3 soccer fans supported a different team. And so then they start going through these statistics and said that 3 in 10 people had spent a night in a spare room following a sporting dispute, and 15% said their marriages went on to end in divorce. 31% had thrown away their partner's football or soccer jersey. What?
That's taking those.
35% had gone 35% had gone several days without talking to a loved one after a clash between their two teams.
That's taking those house divided flags just a bit too far, huh?
Right? But you're telling me just how important your fantasy league is. And when you're in crisis, oh, step away, everybody. Step away. T is miserable to be around.
Well, this is because there's money. I want to win that money. I've been running this league for like a fucking decade, and I think I've made the playoffs like once or twice. Twice. I came in third the one time, and I came in fourth the other time. The other time was fucking hilarious because I started the year like 7-0, and then
Yeah.
and then I limped into the playoffs at 9-7 as the fourth seed. So I was the first seed through week 7. Then I limped in at 9-7, and then I lost both of my playoff games immediately. So I finished the season on like a 2-9 skid.
And yet,
It
Tom
was
Brady and all these guys ain't thinking about you at all.
It's been
You know what
so
they're thinking
fucking
about?
hurtful.
They're thinking about their wives with Antonio Brown.
Jesus Christ. Do you think that he did that because his relationship was on the rocks, and just like any other relationship that's on the rocks, he's like, here, let's just like mix it up a little bit in the bedroom and
Well,
get other
for the
people
listeners, T, do I think who did what for what? Let's name the players here.
Tom
Like,
Brady invited Antonio Brown to bang his wife because things weren't good at home. And
Do you think, is this true, or do you think this is a conspiracy theory that we're building here?
so? Is this a Love Files episode or a sports episode?
I feel like
or
we're falling into a Love Files episode
or a
again.
tinfoil hats episode?
Ooh, I mean, I think we could have a crossover event here. Crossover events are very hot.
Yeah, no, it's Jesus Christ. We're doing too many hybrid episodes now. We're gonna have to fucking we're gonna have to get like a hybrid playlist here.
Yeah, they're called crossovers. It's like a thing that
But we're
network
just
television does.
But we're crossing over with ourselves.
It's
like,
it's when road rules and real world collide.
But we need other people to we need to cross over with other podcasts and get their input on this.
Well, if we weren't so pissed off about our fantasy football crisis, people would be friends with us. But
Well,
we're
here's the
shitty to be
situation.
around.
You want to know what's really funny, actually, that you mentioned that? So, actually, I do have a guest lined up for us who's been dropping a lot of hot music lately. Shout out to Jay Tiz.
Yeah.
He's the one that I lost to by 0.5. And so
What?
we had... we were actively discussing, hey, let's get you on the show. Let's, we could
I might have
we could
seen
even
some of this chatter on the gram.
right. We could tease maybe a new song or something like that, like prior to it dropping, things like that.
Yeah. That sounds exciting.
Since the L talks have kind of cooled off a little bit,
Oh,
I'm a little salty
see?
about what happened.
See? This is what happens. Sports is dividing millions of people.
See, we could have had James himself on again. You see, he's been an active participant in this show for a very long time. This could have been his third appearance, and it is currently postponed until probably the end of the football season.
Yeah. Right? Wow.
But lucky for him, he said he has a very large catalog and will probably be releasing music through Christmas of 2023.
Okay.
So every
Gives
other
us
week.
time
Every other week.
that gives us time for temperatures to even out.
Simmer down.
Simmer down.
So getting back to this Gisele, Antonio Brown, Tom Brady three-way,
Yeah.
do you think he was just in the corner jerking off while Antonio Brown banged her? Or do you think it was like an active three-way? Like what was going on here?
Well, I mean, I think in order for us to properly kind of evaluate that fantasy, I think we have to figure out, okay, things were already on the rocks with Tom and Gisele because he came back, right?
Yeah, because he invited Antonio Brown to live with him. That's your first red flag.
That's right.
That's
Okay,
your first red flag that things are on the rocks.
AB comes to Tampa, needs a place to live, and
He
Tom
did this
lets
in New England too, though.
Oh, he let him live with him there too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. So he's been a house guest multiple times. Okay. So do you think that Antonio Brown
Where's the tape?
banged Gisele without Tom Brady's blessing, if you will, first, like because he was a house guest and like Gisele just happened to like walk into the kitchen naked to make some scrambled eggs and Antonio Brown happened to just be
because
laying
what
there?
sane person would invite Antonio Brown into their house without thinking this guy's going to try? What sane human being?
Okay, so Tom Brady 100% said when you live in his brain, he knew when I invite you to come and live in my house, you're going to bang my wife.
He had to know that there was at least a possibility, right? Because that has to go through any man's head, any married man's head, right?
Do they say the same thing about UT when you're invited to stay at their homes?
I mean, maybe.
Any married man.
I mean, maybe. Maybe.
Should they?
Maybe that's why I was kicked out. Maybe I was intimidating.
I wasn't trying to pick at a scab. I was just trying to ask.
But that was the thing is I never showed my dong. I was the one that encouraged everybody else to get nude if they wanted to. It was their house. Get comfortable.
You know who you sound like right now? You sound like Antonio Brown. Because right now Antonio Brown is saying, I never banged his lady. I mean.
Never happened.
He says it never happened. You sound a little like Antonio Brown right now.
I want to see the tape. I know there's a tape out there.
It's got to be a tape.
Okay,
so back to the theory that Tom Brady intentionally invited Antonio Brown in. And we think that was, do you think it was actually more almost like not an intervention, but like maybe Antonio Brown will help Gisele understand why Tom should keep playing football? Because I feel like she's had an issue with him playing for a while now. New.
She's like, I don't want you playing football anymore. And he's like, look, what if I get you this huge
big
cock?
Black dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I get you this huge BBC and this fit black guy?
Yes.
That's rather handsome.
Yes, BBD. Totally.
Or BBC is usually what it's referred to.
BBC, sorry.
Come on, Dick. Don't
I know,
play dumb
sorry.
with the listeners. You watch enough porn.
I always defer to the big D though, just because of my namesake.
Have you been searching big black dick when you look for porn?
No. I don't have to search for it. It just finds me.
Well, I was going to say, because if you were searching
when I'm watching porn. Yes. Sorry. I thought you asked if I was searching for
because
big
you would
dick.
Because you would be missing like it's all
big black cocks.
Yeah, it's all categorized under BBC. If you were searching for BBD, you'd be missing it. You'd be missing it all. You're missing the mark. You'd be like me playing darts.
Look, you know how I roll. I pay for my porn. So
you still have to search for the right thing.
That's Bellessa. No, Bellessa makes it very easy for me. And the way that it lays out all of the categories are not like, I don't have to go out of my way then to go and look up BBDs or FMFs. Like, it lays that all out for me.
Have they been labeling it as BBD as they were incorrectly labeling their threesomes? Are they misleading you, Dick?
No, it's BC. Like, if I need to get into, like, then narrowing it down to what ethnicity of the BC, then I could. But otherwise, no, it's 100% BC.
It's BBC.
Just like there's hot guy porn.
It's BBC.
MFM, FMF.
And just so we're aware,
orgy,
I
bondage.
have a BBC as well, a big black cat.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, he's sexy too, though. So clearly, Antonio Brown got
themed.
Brought in.
Happy Halloween.
Yes, thank you. Antonio Brown got brought in. Banged Gisele.
Yes.
They won a Super Bowl.
That's where
cool.
we were going with that.
But I want to get back to the tape. There's got to be a tape out there, and have it was this a good idea on Tom's part?
Well, I
figured he tried to, happy wife, happy life, right? He tried.
That's what I was gonna say.
He tried.
Here's what I'll say to that. I give Tom credit for giving it a shot multiple times, right? Because I feel like it was innovative of him to give it to try that.
I've tried this.
For the sake of his family, his football career, and UT as a fantasy league commissioner and team owner. Yeah. I can appreciate it. You know, I think this is the lesson to be learned, and I've said it multiple times on this show. Everyone thinks that a threesome is easy. A threesome isn't easy to put together. A threesome isn't easy to pull off. And there's even the aftermath of a threesome. You've talked about this too. Sometimes it just gets weird. And I feel like this one maybe got weird.
Right. Oh, probably. At least after at least after Tampa.
Have you ever, after a threesome and then you broke up with the girl, had the other person start selling T-shirts online with their picture and the person you broke up with? I mean, that seems a little weird.
No, but it definitely would lead me to believe that they banged.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because back to Antonio Brown saying that never actually happened, which if you were to go to the internets right now, you could definitely buy a T-shirt from boomin.store, I think is where it's at. Either way, Antonio Brown's Twitter will tell you how to get there. And he is definitely selling T-shirts of a picture of him and Gisele hugging, and it says Boomin'. And for those listeners that don't know what that means, Boomin' is about making a lot of money in a short amount of time. So when you're booming, generally you selling like weed or, I don't know, mixtapes.
T-shirts.
But T-shirts are a good way to be booming. Yeah. So Antonio Brown be booming right now. He's bull booming is the name of the shirt. It's $50. All sales are final, but it kind of feels like a collector's item right now. And all proceeds, according to Antonio Brown, go to charity to support America's fatherless children. So this is not about being an asshole to Tom Brady. It's Antonio Brown helping fatherless children across the country.
Like Tom Brady's are about to be.
Yeah.
Got
like
it. Just to
Tom
clarify.
Brady's children. Right. Yep.
Just to clarify. Okay, so I got so many follow-up questions. I feel like we've covered the conspiracy side of things. So back to the love files side of things. Regarding three-ways, yeah, difficult to put together. But Dick, I got pegged again for like the third time this month about why we haven't banged. And I was like, look, Dick, I feel like Dick and I have this mutual understanding where we just keep each other in the wings so that if in a pinch we're like, hey,
bullpen.
Exactly. And we're like, look, if we need somebody for a three-way, we got this great person over here, and we don't want to go down the emotional romantic attachment route. And that way it's great because you can just stay in each other's bullpens there and you can just pull each other out as needed in relief, so to speak. And I was like, and it works that way and things don't get fucked up. I was like, but just to clarify, none of that has ever happened. But I was like, I feel like that is the mutual understanding. And the person's like, "Wait, you just get along so well." I'm like, we're dating. Like, why are you trying to make me go date Dick? Okay. I was like, if you want, you and I can probably go bang Dick, but
right. Come at me, bro.
Right. Slide into my DMs, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone, if you not been to my Instagram account, I was trying to tell
Oh my God. I was going to say, it says it on the
God. Somebody slide into my DMs for fuck's sake.
But I just need to tell you, please don't make it be me. For fuck's sake, somebody help this lady out.
I'm a little distracted though. You're not gonna lie, because the way that you started that was that someone pegged you again, and I was like, wait a minute, how did you get pegged? And I was like,
no, not literally.
We're not talking about pegging. God,
Jesus. No,
but you
sorry
brought
to
me to that topic, and so I was fully on board.
Sorry to disappoint.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it's my favorite question too. I love it. I think it's so funny.
What? Who's into pegging?
Oh, no. I mean, I love that. That's my second favorite question. My first favorite question is is about you and I 100%
Oh
all the
God,
time.
every time.
Every time. I know.
Yeah, God, yeah, I know, and it's like we haven't even hung out recently, so it's like when we hang
I
out,
know.
it's
I don't
even
even
worse.
get to ever see you. But I do think we are going to have to like do an episode where we tell everybody that it happened and then like just make it the most awkward episode ever.
Oh yeah. Oh, it could be similar to. I'm just trying to think if it was my first threesome. So, harkening back to the threesome conversation, I was in a relationship and we had a three-way, and I believe this may have been after one of the times that the uncle fucker cheated. So I was like, look, like if you want to like see other people, like we can break up or we can do like an open relationship type deal. So probably very similar to Tom Brady, right?
Oh, yeah. This sounds exactly like Tom Brady, in
But
fact.
since there had already been signs of infidelity, I was like, look, I get the first crack at this. So we got this MILF, and she was like an Amazon. She was like my height. Anyway, she got way too wasted. I remember she left the bar we were at to go grab her phone from a previous bar just down the street. And I ended up getting a call from the bartender because we were friends and he had my phone number. And so he calls me on my cell phone. He's like, hey, that chick you were down here with is like crying and like blah, blah, blah. And then we brought her back to the bar that we were at and she drank some water and we chilled out a little bit and whatever. Anyway, we proceed to head home and the two ladies get after it, and that's great. I'm enjoying all that. I get involved. Things are fun. I'm going back and forth. All that's cool. And while I'm going to town on this chick, I was going real hard, and it slipped out, and I didn't go into her butt, but I like poked it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was I was thrusting real hard, and
The friendly poke.
Oh yeah, but she didn't.
Oh
Take
yeah,
it as
that's
friendly.
happened to the best of us.
She just got all like bummed out about it, and it just totally dragged down the rest of the evening. And then she peaced out, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, all over a poke. I'm like, God, terrible. Oh, it was terrible. I mean, I've had better experiences since then, but Jesus Christ, that was not a good ending for that one. I mean, everything up until that, I give it a 7 out of 10, just because like the finale was just not complete. Everything else up until that, like the first 3/4 of it, you know, was essentially a 10 out of 10, but there was just no finale. At least not a good one. Oh. Any good recent
7 out of 10
stories?
ain't bad though. I'm not gonna lie.
Any good recent threesome stories for us, Dick?
No, I've told y'all. 20s piece of cake. So much cake. Pies. Just so many pies. So many
Green
peach pies, cakes, and pies. So many.
Love the green pies.
So many cream pies. In your 30s, this gets a little more difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So here's what I've decided. I don't need to keep like trying so hard for them. You know, you really just gotta wait for it to just fall in your lap.
Yeah.
And so kind of just sitting around with my lap. Waiting for it to fall in my lap. Yeah.
Well, whenever my passport gets here, Dick, we'll
I'm
we'll
telling
come
you,
pay you a
Dick,
visit.
Seriously, because coordinating and then scheduling and then having to like just
You're like,
what?
these bitches are so difficult. I gotta fucking import people from fucking Pennsylvania.
Honestly. Yeah. I'm going to have to import a threesome at this point. What is wrong with this place? God.
Jesus Christ.
Unbelievable. Either that or I have to export it. And I'm like, one or the other here. Damn, I've got a Southwest Airlines credit sitting around.
Right. Hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's a situation. But, and maybe not to belabor this, but because, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, Gisele's, maybe this applies. I think we were talking about, again, the
You gonna jump
MFM.
in with
So
her
you
and
get
Antonio Brown?
Well, you got two dudes and one chick, right? And so you were suggesting, can't recall if it was on air or off, that it seemed like a valiant effort and good idea on Tom's part, but maybe got jealous, couldn't get past it, and maybe things got weird, right? Because that can happen. Well, I feel like I don't even get to that point where it happened and then everybody gets weird.
Right.
I think it stops for me with it's already weird and we haven't even gotten there. And I'm like, it's this phenomenon, I'm not gonna lie, of how women, so I have the Antonio Brown problem that he's running into with Tom Brady, where Tom's like, nope, just can't get past it. And I was like, well, Tom, that's on you that you brought in BBC. And so in this situation with FMF, I kind of feel like the equivalent of BBC. Is that appropriation? I'm going to say it's not. Where it seems to just, the ladies are all about it, and like until they're like, and then I think they get nervous about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's how I'm being sold. I'm not being sold. Sorry, that sounded weird. I think it's more the conversation of like, I think I'm too much. I think the ladies freak out about me. That's all I'm saying. And I have told plenty of people this, that you think it'd be easy to set up.
It's the cream pies.
You think it'd be easy to set up, but ladies get very intimidated by me. And so I need a little advice about that. And I don't know if you're the one to give me advice. Maybe
they're jealous over the cream pies, Dick. Some of these ladies might not be on birth control. They, whatever. And if they see their dude busting loads over here.
Man. So that's what it is. But like, well, yeah, okay. Do you think it's the emotional attachment piece too, though, that like...
Well, yeah, right.
They can't just have fun with it?
Well, yeah. And then, like, what if you were with a couple that had a kid together too? And then you get then she's over here watching.
Who told you? No, I'm kidding.
Watching loads getting blown all over the place, and then she's just like, hey, those are my kids. And it's like, well, that's fucking, why are you doing that?
So
why
don't worry, I'll babysit them for you.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah.
I don't want him.
Hang on, let me
watch him for you.
Let me scoop him off my stomach and put him in this fucking red Solo cup and stick him in my freezer, and I'll watch him for the next 20 years.
God. So here's my thing, though. Like, I think the way we're... Uh-oh, what?
I have a safe freezer story.
Oh, God.
Can I share
tell it right now?
Is it appropriate?
I don't know. Tell it. Oh, I know which one you're about to tell. Yeah, tell it.
Okay, so for anybody that doesn't know, I have a tattoo on my ribs that I am in the process of getting removed. It's been a long time coming. Anyway, I've had some of it removed in the past, and I had this saline procedure done. So they inject saline and it bonds to the ink, and it comes out and scabs up and blah, blah, blah. It comes off in this thick scab, and it's kind of reminiscent of thin strips of bacon or...
DM me if you want pictures of the procedure.
Or, yeah, right. Or beef jerky maybe is a better description.
Yeah, jerky. Yeah.
So we called it Terry jerky. Anyway, when I moved out of my house last year, I did bring this Terry jerky with me. And one would ask, why do you have this? That seems oddly morbid and grotesque. And yes, I will agree with you. But don't ever say it to my face, because you might end up with some weird bacon bits in your salad. Anyway. It's like that episode of South Park where made you eat your parents. That's terrible.
Well,
though. That's
I was also going to bring us back to the episode where I tell everybody to eat organs, though, because your skin is an organ.
Yeah, my organs are delicious. Anyway, no, that's terrible.
I hope it was on my salad then, T.
Right? See, you could have eaten this. You could have had the Terry jerky and enjoyed it. See, but we don't get that opportunity, because when I was departing Save's house, I go to look for said jerky, and the freezer's been cleaned out, and Nowhere to be found. I think my
Do you
jerky
think it
got
was fed
thrown
to
out.
the dog?
Oh my God. I think it got thrown out, but what if it did? That never even occurred to me
I
until
feel
just
like it could
now.
have been fed to the dog. Thinking of the things that were in that freezer and are still in that freezer that get fed to the dogs.
Oh my God.
I feel like there's a strong potential the dogs have eaten dairy jerky.
Oh my fucking God.
I'm a little jealous. I'm not going to lie.
Oh my God. That never occurred. That'd be brilliant. That'd be fucking awesome.
I feel like that might have happened.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
I'm definitely not into any of that, like, eating or blood transfer weird shit that, like, Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly do, or whatever.
Well, and yeah, and it's like, I'm not putting that kind of energy out there either, so I don't know why the ladies are not in. But, and here's my thing. It's not even like every scenario, because I think the way we were kind of portraying that scenario was like, I'm joining a couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which 100% down. DM me, guys. But it can even be in that circumstance where it's nobody's coupled with each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and chicks are still not like the ones that are just like, oh, just banging for fun. And then it's like, oh, would you be down with a threesome? And they're like, yeah. And then we start talking, and then they start learning about me, and then they freak out. And I'm like, oh, well, it'd be way better if it was like, oh, I'm not into her because she's not cute. Or, oh, I'm not into her because, whatever, I'm not attracted to her. No, it's none of those things.
Does it ever feel like some people just have it so romanticized and they want like a 2-hour TV spectacular every time they fucking set something like this up, and they can't just get to fucking stepping?
Yeah, I think it's some of that. I just have to figure out
what you see in the movies, kids.
No, that's not how it works. I think I need to figure out, though, and maybe this is a whole nother episode, I need some advice on my intimidation factor of other women.
Like, they never show poop dick in the movies.
Right. Oh, God.
It's a real thing.
Ever. They edit that part out every time.
Every single time. All those anal videos and no poop dick? Ever?
Right?
Not one? Don't you find that a little odd?
Yeah. We know that's not real, everybody.
So, lower the bar, people.
Yeah.
Measure your expectations. Go have a 3-way. Antonio Brown's probably available. He's not playing football. I don't know what his rap career is like, but definitely seems like he's into the 3-ways.
Well, if he's listening
Charges
to
double
this,
for tapes, though.
If he's listening to this, AB, I'm down just because, we're both struggling with
He
this.
could probably hook you up with
thing.
Gisele. Could you imagine him, and Gisele? There you go.
That's what I'm saying. As long as Gisele doesn't get weird with me, I'd be great.
So you can slide into Dick's DMs at the Dick Francisco on Instagram, or at I'm Dick Francisco on Twitter. Or if you care to slide into my DMs, you may do so on Twitter at CTS Terry, or on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever podcasts are available by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe. That's definitely one way to get my attention, ladies. Or gentlemen. Not that I'm searching for a gentleman, but if I'm in a relationship like that, I got to be open to both sides, right?
Ha. Look, we're just open, folks, here because no one DMs me. And I'd just like a DM, and then we'll go from there.
Right. We'll take any action we can get, and then we'll take it from there.
At this point, I'll take any action. I'm not even asking for a threesome anymore. I'm just asking for a DM, for fuck's sake.
Oh, that's fantastic. My God. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. We didn't even get into the fucking, all the waiver fucking transactions I have lined up for this evening.
Next time.
No, not now. We can let you know if any of them worked out, but let's just say, yeah,
report back. You've got some reporting back to do. I've got some reporting back to do.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Catch the Sky podcast. And until next week, keep trying to catch the sky.